Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Talladega Super Speedways. We're getting set for Go or Go Home qualifying to see who will make it into race number 20 of the fourth season of the NR2003 Red Bull GT Series. We got Go or Go Home qualifying, which is underway as we're at the Talladega Super Speedway. Sam Tenley, the first car out on the track, did not waste any time. It's only going to be a 10-minute session for these drivers to get a lap in, and then we'll get ready for qualifying coming up for round number 2 to find out who will start on the pole for tomorrow afternoon's race. As Sam Tenley rounding through 3 and 4. Of course, this will be his first lap because the pit stalls are all behind the start finish line, so his next time by will be his first official time lap. Sam Tenley, 40th in the points, not the season he would have liked. First lap of 52.460. That's not too bad by himself. So this will be his first official time lap. That is Nathan Orman. He is going by Sam Tenley. This is a 2.66 mile track. Talladega that usually for the Cup cars don't produce a lot of cautions. This series did produce a caution last season. And with tomorrow and with this afternoon's race we're going to be having, who knows what happens. A 44.056 for Sam Tenley. There's Nathan Orman. 52.669, his first lap. That's his get up to speed lap. He will get ready for his first official time lap. Not a lot of time for these drivers to come in the pits, make some adjustments. They got to get on the track right now because we're going to have a 20-minute session so they can start working in the draft really well. RB Gardner, a 43.520. He's really looking good. And Orman's first actual lap of 43.891, so not a bad lap for him. Lizette Armstrong needs to get out on the track as soon as possible. Monica Towns on track now. She is 52nd in the points, looking to make her third Red Bull GT Series starts. All these times that are like in the 52-second range, that's just their get up to speed lap. As Monica Towns will get behind Nathan Orman and may use Ormy as a drafting partner. Really important to have a drafting partner, especially here at Talladega. 52.003, not surprised about that lap. But remember, it's your get up to speed lap. Jumiaka goes second quickest at a 43.318. Courtney Lynn, a 43.900. This is where the fastest lap is probably going to be at, right there as the 33 goes quickest at a 43.120. Nathan Orman. Nathan Orman driving the 4, replacing the now banned Jira Johnson for the rest of the season. Monica Towns, this is probably going to be a good lap for her. And it's a 43.019. What I tell you, being in that draft really was important. There's Luna Farmer right now on the bubble at a 43.847. She made her debut last week at the Glen. Currently 54th in the points of the 54 drivers who's taken part. 42.961 for Ingrid Pollard. She blew that sucker right out of the water. There's Courtney Lynn. That was a blistering lap for Ingrid Pollard. 43.869 for Courtney Lynn. There's Lizette Armstrong, a 43.633 on the outside looking in. Matthew Hubert right now, 7th quickest, who would like to improve his time. So we're roughly now at 5 minutes to go in this Go Home session. RB Gardner, a 42.602. These are really quick lap times here. 42.958 for Hubert. He goes fourth quickest. Santi 43.042. Timo Mauser still in the 43s. That puts Sam Tenley on the bubble. There's where the fastest lap time has come. Jumiaka right here with Pollard, Packett, and RB Gardner. This is where their fastest times have come from. No improvement for Jumiaka. There's Pollard. There's the fastest. RB Gardner, a 42.602. Danny Johnson at a 43.926. Timo Mauser right now the slowest of the drivers who really need to put a good lap time together. I'm in a VC with Sean, but I didn't want the music playing while I'm doing Go Home qualifying, so FYI. Getting ready for this afternoon's race. That will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. First, we have to take care of who will start on the pole for this afternoon's race. And they're approaching Danny Johnson, so looks like the 7's going to use the draft. Sam Tenley, a 5.94. No improvement for Arby, but he's right as he just caught a nice little draft off of Danny Johnson. Pretty quick laps for these guys in this now 5-car draft pack. Ingrid Pollard is now in 6th gear, right behind Danny Johnson. That will definitely improve Danny Johnson's times. Look at that, 224, 225 through the trial, and a 42.579 puts RB 5th quickest. Now he's been put on the bubble because Monica Towns just went to the top of the timesheets. 42.313. Mauser and Lizette Armstrong going to need to find some speed here. So really critical as we're down to a minute and a half left to go in the session. There's Sam Tenley. There's Luna Farmer, who's in this draft. Same with Courtney Lynn and Nathan Orman. Ormy just got dropped to the bubble. But remember, Ormy's in this draft, so he's trying to get a good fast lap time here. Courtney Lynn's going to stay single file. Looks like Ormy wants to draft with her. This is going to really be good to see who's going to make the show and who is not. 42.636 for Courtney Lynn. That's somewhat of an improvement. 16 and 20 are tied. The 16 and the 20 are tied. Tiebreaker would go to more than likely the 16 because, well, as soon as I say that, RB Gardner goes quickest. 236 for Gardner's. We're down to 30 seconds left to go. Ormy's been bumped out of the Fast 7, but no worries. He's in this draft. Courtney Lynn, 42.839. She does have one more chance. The guy that she needs to knock out is on the bubble, is in front of her. I can confirm Timo Mauser is going to be one of the 7 drivers who will not race this afternoon, so he will unfortunately have to go home. But our main focus is Courtney Lynn, as they just caught Lizette Armstrong at a bad time. Is this going to affect Courtney Lynn? I hope not. Let's see. Any improvements from these drivers? 42.444 for Luna Farmer. Just missed out. Just missed out. Hubert, no reason to go back on track. But my goodness, Danny Johnson, a 42.1. Holy shnikey. Danny Johnson. That was a cracker of a lap by that 77. He will no doubt race today. That car is as fast as Xfinity Mobile. Wow. So Danny Johnson will get to race this afternoon, along with Brooke Packett, Arby Gardner, Ingrid Pollard, Monica Towns, Tico Jumiaka, and Sam Tenley, pending post-qualifying inspection, got the final spot into the show. Unfortunately, the 7 drivers who will not make the show are Courtney Lynn, Nathan Orman, Luna Farmer, Matthew Hubert, Davis Santi, Lizette Armstrong, and Timo Mauser. Those drivers never got out of the 43-second time deal, so unfortunately, those drivers will not be in the race, and Lizette Armstrong's free fall is going to continue. That's a tough break for all those drivers. But congratulations to the 7 drivers that made it into the show for this week here at Talladega. We're going to take a commercial break, and on the other side of the break, qualifying to set our grid for this afternoon's race. Don't go away, folks. Red Bull GT Series qualifying coming up right after this. And welcome back, everybody, to qualifying for the Red Bull GT Series race, where we're going to set the field for tomorrow, or for this afternoon's race, I should say. As here come the cars. All 42 of them are going to take time. And it looks like the first one up is the gal that is 35th, technically still in the mid 30s. As don't forget, all these drivers are going to get, their get up to speed lap, and then we'll have their first official time lap as we're looking at Henrietta Fitzwater. Henrietta Fitzwater, 39th in the points coming into this race, as we still have to wait for 2 drivers to still fall out of the top 35, and then we'll go back to the original 35th in the standings cut line. As here comes the first official time lap for Henrietta Fitzwater. It'll be a 52.262. But that will be her get up to speed lap. But remember, they will get they're on their first official time lap of the session. So Alexander Underwood, there's the guy that's second in the points in the rookie points leader, Ponzo Albanese. Alexander Underwood leads by 33 points over Ponzo Albanese, the rookie points leader. Cody Goforth, 44 points back in third. Sarah Redmond, second in the rookie of the year standings, 47 points back in fourth. Jesse Art, 75 points back in fifth. Anna Monroe, 76 points back in sixth. Skylar Taylor, 80 points back in seventh, as that's a 44.220 for Henrietta Fitzwater. Bradley Green, 82 points back in eighth. Kyler Anderson, 103 points back in ninth. And then a tie for 10th between Josh Harmon and Andrew Williams. As right now, the 0-1 is being shown the fastest in this session. That is Dana Monroe. There she is, 44.165. But remember, we saw in GOGH home qualifying, we got into the low 42s. That was set by Danny Johnson, who, by the way, we saw him just come off pit road. Monica Towns, a 43.634. And remember at Talladega, it's not how you start, it's how you finish this race. 43,368 for Monroe, back to the top of the timesheets. It's look as of now, it's a DVR front row. We're also going to have pit stops in this race because these drivers cannot make it 47 laps on one tank of fuel, so they're going to have to make pit stops in this afternoon's race. Something they're going to have to think about. Sean Art goes to the top of the timesheets. As Monroe right behind Kyle Langland. That's Chaz Farmer right behind them. 43,214. Bradley Ream is now the quickest driver in this qualifying session. There he is at a 43,033. We're getting right near the 42s that Danny Johnson set. And Campbell Marsh has yet to set a time, as we have 11 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. RB Gardner, a 42.8. That is a blistering lap time. Reed goes quickest, 42.62. Holy cat. These are quick-ass times. And they've caught Kaiser and who's that? That's Fitzwater, Zachary Fitzwater. Campbell Marsh at 53.9, but that is his get up to speed lap, so he's now on his first official timed lap. Doesn't matter if you have a poor qualifying effort. It matters is where you're going to finish. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Anybody can win, whether it's at the front, middle, or the rear of the field. As they're coming up to Josh Harmon in the 78. While we're doing this, and while we're on the subject, how many times have we been to Talladega, you ask? We were here last season. Defending winner of this race is not in the field, and of course the car failed to qualify with Lizette Armstrong. Nathan Murphy was the driver who won this race last season in the number 2. Of course, Nathan Murphy no longer in the series, but he was the one that won this event a season ago. So we're guaranteed a new winner, and since the 2 failed to qualify for this race, we're definitely guaranteed a new winner in this regardless. A couple of drivers really struggling in qualifying, but as I said, you can pass on this track. You can really pass on this track, so nothing to be worried about. Oh, there's some we got some skid marks there. We got some skid marks on the front straightaway. I wonder who that belonged to. We're going to find out right here, right now. Oh, somebody got in the wall there. That's Packett. She got turned by Bianchi. And she goes into the wall. Let me see. I don't know if I think she was not clear. Let's see. Let's look at it again. Yeah, she tried to get down the pit road thinking she was clear. She was not clear and got turned by Bianchi. Did some pretty significant damage to that 16 machine. I bet you they may have to go to a backup car. And if that's the case, she will more than likely start at the rear of the field, even though she's 39th on the speed charts. So in all hindsight, it really wouldn't matter if she would have gone to the rear of the field, because she was already going to start there anyway. So they're going to have to do some work to get that car back up to, quote, aerodynamics. And that's going to be something we're going to see today in this race. As we're looking at Bradley Ream, Punzo Alvin's second quickest. There he is on pit road. Currently making some adjustments, telling the team what they need to make. Brooke Packett at a 43.577 right now would be at the rear of the field, which wouldn't matter anyway because she was going to start the rear anyway if they have gone to a backup machine, and I believe they have gone to a backup car. So Brooke Packett will more than likely, unless the damage isn't too significant. Let's see. Yeah, she's back out on the track. And she ran a 43.577, so of course I know as of this recording, I know we'll get the score checks in a minute, but I just want to get this qualifying session done. 54.337. So even if Brooke Packett does have to go to the rear of the field, which they did inform me they did go to a backup car. So wherever she qualifies, Packett will start at the rear of the field, but right now she's the slowest, so maybe it was a good thing to maybe have problems. And like I said, one thing I didn't mention this last week is that if you crash or blow up in this session and you have to go to a backup car or a backup engine, you will have to go to the rear of the field to start the race. Just like if we have a driver change. Yes, you will get to race. However, because of the driver change rule, you will also have to start at the rear of the field. So if there is a driver change that happens on the race weekend I'm on, you will get the race. However, you will have to start at the rear of the field because of the driver change. So driver change, engine change, or going to a backup car will result you going to the rear of the field, regardless whether that car qualifies on pole, 15, 16, doesn't matter. You will have to start at the rear of the field. So we'll see if Brooke Packett in her backup car, as she will have to go to the rear of the field for the start of the race. And a 43.414. Nope, she did not pick it up. Shyla Askarov just went to the top of the timesheets at a 42.356. We may get in the 41s before this session is over. And that's with a 42 car field. That's pretty good for these GT cars. And they're rocking around 223 miles an hour, and that's pretty damn good as Shyla doesn't improve. Well, Ricky Cervantes just bumped Shyla off the pole, 42.253. There's Maddie Crenshaw, our pole sitter from last week at the Glen up here at the front. You haven't heard the news. Maddie Crenshaw announced last week at the Glen, just before last week's race, she will be not returning to the GT Series next season. She will be focusing as the competition director. As far as I'm concerned, as Ricky Cervantes with a blistering lap time right now. That's a couple of former PCSRA drivers right up there. 38:07:36. Shyla Askarov going to be back in the Oreo Cup Series next season, driving for Colleague Racing. In that number 10 Chevrolet, she will be a charter team in her second season. Eric Alpha running in currently 10th quickest in this session. Down to 2 minutes to go in this session. There's Andrew Williams, who's now fourth quickest. A lot of pressure on Andrew Williams this weekend as we arrive here at Talladega Superspeedway. For our 20th race of the year. Currently 37th in the points. Right now, Annie Crenshaw, Kaiser, Smart, Maddie Crenshaw, Reagan Whitlock, Zachary Fitzwater, Addison Peterson, and Andrew Williams are probably going to get ready to go by the two drivers that are currently out of the series, even though they're in the top 35. And once those drivers go below 35th in the standings, then we're going to go back to the original top 35. As Jonathan Wong goes second quickest in that number 62. There he is. Wow, look at how big this pack is. 42.269 for the driver of the 62. This could be a pole run the way it's looking for him. Nope, he went a little slower there. Of course, we will see Jonathan Wong in the Oreo Cup Series coming up. As we're down to the final 10 seconds. See if anybody has an answer. Kaiser, third quickest. Good qualifying from Kaiser. All right, checker flags are out. Nobody improved their time there. As we'll go back to Ricky Cervantes. There he is. Jesse Art goes second quickest. 42.259. Jesse Art. Right now, provisionally looking like she's going to be on the front row for this afternoon's race. RB Gardner qualifying third. That's big. Look at that. 6/1000ths. That was a cracker of a lap by Jesse Art. I know that won't make Sean Art any happier, but that's pretty damn good for Jesse Art, who's been in the series since season 1, believe it or not. As the qualifying time should be official. But Ricky Cervantes will lead us to green this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He will start on the pole. He'll be alongside Jesse Art, who put up a cracker of a lap in the last minute of the qualifying session. Sorry about my NR freezing up to getting it in the qualifying. But anyway, so that will be your front row. RB Gardner, Jonathan Wong, row 2. Kaiser, Logan Williams, row 3. Zachary Fitzwater, Trinity Lee, row 4. And Shyla Ascroft, Maddie Crenshaw will be your top 10 when we go green this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking through the rest of the qualifying results here, and this is where I get a little bit worried. Brooke Packett qualified 30th, but because they had to go to a backup car, she will have to go to the rear of the field, so she'll be on the last row with Alexander Underwood, the points leader. Ooh, boy. A couple of Bradley Ream drivers starting at the rear of the field. Underwood, the points leader. Brooke Packett, who ended up 30th quickest, will have to drop to the rear of the field, so that's not good. So Cody Smart will be next to Sam Tinley. So everybody behind Brooke Packett will move up. Packett will start 42nd as a result of getting involved in that crash in qualifying and having to go to a backup car and starting at the rear of the field. So, but as I said before, anybody can win here at Talladega from whatever position you're in. So there you go. But hope you enjoyed this qualifying session and this Go Home session as well. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We'll be back here at beautiful Talladega at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the race our 20th race of the season, as our Dega Weekend continues on the Blue Hedgehog TV, the greatest racing since 2013.